All right, y'all. Here I am. Here we are. And I just want to take a quick walk down the plank with uh, Marc Lamont Hill as he just, I mean, man, he backstepped Benzino so bad, and Benzino didn't even step out, and he pushed Benzino into a corner, which Benzino wasn't even trying to be in that corner. He was talking from a someplace else. But anyway, let's listen to it.
Welcome back to Black News Tonight. It seems like everybody and their mama chimed in on Lil Naz X's controversial BET Awards performance.
Yeah, it was
It
unwatchable.
included a notable name in the hip hop community. Former Source magazine co-owner Benzino took to IG to express his thoughts, his discomfort with Lil Nas X's kiss with a backup dancer. In a post, Benzino said the performance was, quote, too uncomfortable, too irresponsible, too forced, and too irrelevant to the awards.
It was definitely
Benzino also
irresponsible.
said if he had financial backing, he would, quote, bring the Source Awards back.
We don't need the Source Awards either.
Straight on what he thinks about this is the rap mogul himself. Benzino, welcome to Black News Tonight.
Appreciate you, Mark. How you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. Talk to me about what you were thinking when you made that. Because I'll be honest with you, when I read that comment, I was a little surprised, and I said, "Wow, this feels homophobic."
Wow. See, anything you say, you can't just be coming from a place of. You can't be just coming from a place of decency. You can't even be coming from a place of just decency, not wanting your children to be sexually aroused. You can't be coming from that place, because if you are, you're homophobic. But I'm going to show you how Marc Lamont Hill folded Benzino up like a lawn chair.
And because I have never heard that from you before, I was genuinely taken aback and wondered why. That's why I hit you up and say, "Look, bro, like, come on the show. Let me know what happened." Because
Well,
it was
first,
stunning to me. Tell me
I
what
want to make it clear. There's not a homophobic bone in my body.
So that's the next thing you have to always say. Oh, there's not a homophobic bone in my body, because you have a problem with something a homosexual person did or said. Now you got to backwalk and say, there's not a homophobic bone in my body. It's not but see, it's not about being homophobic. It's about what's decent for our children.
And it almost feels silly that I have to kind of defend myself, because when you think about it, it's just common that gay people are a part of our life and our society, and that's just what it is. And I respect that. I have many gay friends. I have gay family members. I've never had a problem with the LGBTQ community. As I've gotten older, I've become, more knowledgeable about everything about the movement.
All
about
of us
the
have,
lifestyle,
brother.
so there's
All
no
of us
problems
have.
with me.
All of us
I've
have.
I've executive produced about 4 or 5 Source Awards, first of all, and the last Source Award was actually put on by BET, and it was more or less coming from a production standpoint. I think award shows have to be responsible for all ages and everybody watching, and you have to be conscious of that.
Okay, so he made a good point. He basically said, "Hey, look, if you have an award show public public airwaves, it should be responsible for. It should be responsible enough where if children are watching, they're not going to see anything that might damage them in the future, right?" That was a good point. Wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough.
And I think sometimes they try to push the envelope a little bit too much. Per se, I don't think it had too much to do with a gay thing as much as it was forced. I felt like a performance didn't need all that. Lil Nas X, I have a great deal of admiration for him. Very, very proud of what.
It doesn't matter what you got for homosexual. If you one admonishment and you're homophobic, They cannot be admonished. So that's the sad part about it. So we can never correct some of this stuff and have a meeting of the minds and just sit down and talk about it, because every time you say something, oh my God, it's homophobic. It's terrible, man.
What he's done, especially as a young African-American young brother, he's broken all kind of records. He's crossed over genres of music. I bought his album for Zeno, my 5-year-old, and posted him singing Old Town Road. So it has nothing to do personally with Nas. And I also want to stand corrected that he does have a song on the in the top 10 that I knew nothing about. So I want to apologize for the one statement I said that I didn't think that he had a current hit out, but he does. The Montero song, but I didn't know. So, I want to correct that, but I stand by what I say as far as it was forced and it was irresponsible. I just don't think there's a place.
Absolutely. Absolutely irresponsible. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Marc Lamont Hill asked the question, why was it irresponsible? So let me answer it, because Benzino didn't do a good job. It was irresponsible because it was an sexualized situation that our children were watching, and they didn't have, we didn't know that was coming. If we knew, we could say, okay, we could have sent the children out the room. See, what happens when you stimulate children sexually like that, little kids sexually like that, they end up, it creates confusion in them, because they're feeling feelings that their bodies are not prepared and their mind are not prepared to work all that out at that young age. So, and nobody wants to sit down with a 6-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old and start having a conversation about sex. They feel the tension, you feel the tension. So instead of going to you, the parent, about it, they go to the street about it, and then they get misled down a dark path. They usually run into people that's waiting with a catcher's mitt to take advantage of them. That is why we don't want our children being stimulated sexually on basic cable, on regular TV. We do not want that. Got it? That is why. That was why it was irresponsible. Children shouldn't be getting sexually aroused on public television. That is why. Got nothing to do with him being homosexual. We would be saying the same thing if a man and a woman kiss like that. We would be saying the same thing.
Well, I mean, to show something on an award show that's meant to be a family show. I just think
Okay.
that there's a time and place for everything.
All right,
So now, this is when Marc Lamont Hill is going to start moonwalking on this dude, because Benzino's so afraid to be labeled homophobic that he just started letting this dude moonwalk all over him. It's sad, man, but just I guess that's the situation in the entertainment industry.
So let's. I mean, we had a night full of performances. So many performances alluded.
All of them were terrible. All of them were terrible. All of them. BET is unwatchable. Unwatchable. Any portion of it is unwatchable. It's nothing but freaks, whores, hypocrites, slaves, and degeneracy. I don't care what sexual orientation you are. It's hypocrites and slaves and whores and just degenerate behavior wrapped up at, as an award show fed to our children, so our children can be constantly confused and sexually aroused at ungodly ages. They ain't turning. You think our children are turning to BET awards? You can't even watch BET with your family. It was a time you could watch BET with your family, sit your family down and watch BET. You can't even watch BET with your family because your children gonna get sexually aroused watching all of that crap. It is what it is.
To sex, oral sex, selling dope, shooting guns, and no one said anything.
But we are saying something. We are saying something. You are just pulling out the part where we talking about Lil Naz X. We saying the whole show is unwatchable. We should never watch BET again. Any black person of decency should never watch that again, especially with your children. You don't know what they're going to do. Well, you do know what they're going to do. They're going to find any kind of way to try to sexually arouse your children, and without you knowing it, and there's nothing you can do about it. You think they will be doing that on JTV? You think they will be doing all of that stuff on JTV, or on VH1 or MTV, or it just wouldn't happen, or the Asian channel or the Latino channel? Come on, bro. But see, I'm not gonna go the whole way, because I'm gonna just show you how Marc Lamont Hill just basically dog walked this dude, and and I know he had strong feelings about the situation, but because of his position in the entertainment industry, him being Benzino, he got to take this dog walking. That's why you got to watch who you connect yourself with.
And you didn't say anything when we saw women shaking their behinds, and I'm not saying they shouldn't, when they're showing when people are wearing outfits that show breast.
Wait a minute, you're not saying they shouldn't? You're not saying our women shouldn't be out there shaking their asses with half their ass hanging out? Come on, bro. Really? Well, you ain't got no children, so you ain't got to worry about your children asking you about that, or looking at that, or looking at you co-signing that. You ain't got to worry about nothing like that.
I'm saying, if we're appealing to family values in the conservative kind of way, it seems to me that Lil Naz X wasn't far out of step from everybody else, except the fact that his kiss was with a man. I'm saying
No. He wasn't far out of step at all. Absolutely. He was right in line with the sexual arousal that BET wanted to put onto our children. Absolutely.
All that stuff is fair game on an award show that comes on at 8 o'clock at night. But if the issue...
What? This man just said that sexually arousing our children is fair game for black people. Did you hear that? Did you hear this man just say that? I heard him just say that. He said it's fair game at 8 o'clock at night. Most of our children are still up at 8 o'clock at night, especially on an award show. Oh, Daddy, can I still stay up and watch this? And you thinking, oh yeah, they just want to see the newest dances. You don't think they're gonna be sexually aroused by watching two people conduct themselves? I'll be saying the same exact thing, but I'll be saying the same thing if it was a man and a woman kiss like that. However, the situation is Lil Naz X was just the tip of the iceberg. The whole BET, that thing at that station need to be thrown in the goddamn trash can. Anyway, I'm talking, but I really wanted to show you how these dudes get pushed off their square because they're in the entertainment industry. They got big names, but your name is only as big as until one of these people from the LGBT community come after you. Then they fold you up like a lawn chair, like Marc Lamont Hill is about to fold Benzino up like a lawn chair.
It was the family piece of it. Why did that seem so inappropriate, and not the guns and the drugs and the shooting and the sex and the woman popping out with the baby? And
we did say that. That's all. It's totally unwatchable. BET is totally unwatchable. It's for freaks, slaves, whores, hypocrites, and the degenerates. It's a done deal. It should never be watched by black people again. It should be watched for who it should be intended for, and that's to show other than black people how degenerate black people can be if you make the bag big enough. If you make the bag big enough, this is what you can do with these people. You can twist them like a wheat shaft. They'll bend and bob and bend and bob and bend and weave. It's sad. It's sad. Anyway, let me hurry up to this part.
Well, Mark, you have a great point. And, the BET Awards was always, to me, an award show that kind of held us as a culture in the highest regards. And it always had a sort amount of class to it. I think the last couple of years it's kind of waning, maybe towards a younger crowd, but you're absolutely right. And I don't want to be a hypocrite as far as, because I'm not trying to censor anybody. I just think that, when it comes to, when you see the women, I think you're right. I think that as a society, we are kind of used to seeing that. You make a great point. But that doesn't still diminish my point about how I felt the Nas X performance was. And because I didn't mention everybody else, it still shouldn't taint my point of that particular performance. And again, it's not like I'm picking on Nas X.
Here he comes. He's about to do the LGBT moonwalk. Here we go.
Think about it like this. Because this is a teach and learning dialogue between both of us. We're gonna learn from each other and build.
Yes, and I appreciate it.
And I want you to think about it. I want you to think about it like this. Imagine a white person. I'm gonna give you two examples. Imagine a white person who said everything you said at the top.
Oh boy, here we go. You know what? This is getting too long, man. I don't want to even go into it, man. But basically, Marc Lamont Hill just dog walked this dude away from standing on the square. And I understand. I ain't nothing. Hey, man. I mean, no attack on Benzino, man, because he was, he's just in a place where he's in the entertainment industry, and if you don't take that dog walking, he's done. So he got to take it. And Marc Lamont Hill is, what do you call that? In the vanguard position for the LGBT community. So he got to do what he got to do, man. You know what I'm saying? So his job was to attack him on that platform, attack him for what he said, and he did his job. Did a poor job of relaying the information back to Lamont Hill that, hey, it ain't got nothing to do with him being gay. It got something to do with him sexually arousing our people, and not just Lil Naz X, because we ain't just putting it on Lil Naz X. We put it on the whole BET staff that put that goddamn piece of shit together. It's unwatchable for decent people. It's unwatchable. You can't even watch it with your children no more, and no black person should be watching BET ever again. That's my understanding. If you differ with me, disagree with what I'm saying, send me an email. Let's come on a live stream with me and talk about it, and you'll see. I will not let you back me up like this dude getting backed up here, because the entertainment industry don't own me, so I'm not gonna get backed up like this. I understand though, man. I'm not saying he's a bad dude or Lamont Hill is a bad dude. I'm just saying these two dudes came from different camps and they had to do what they had to do. All right. Am I crazy? Is Lamont crazy? Is Benzino crazy? Which one of us is right? Which one of us makes the most sense? All right. Till we talk to y'all again. Never be the aggressor, brother. Never be the aggressor.